Austin Ekeler has a much higher ceiling than you think. Much higher ceiling than you think. So 2 years ago, in 2019. No, actually, last year he was RB9 in points per game with 16.5. So I mean, not solid, but as you'll see, that's closer to his floor than his ceiling. Much closer to his floor, actually. 2 years ago, with Melvin Gordon in the picture on the same team as Melvin Gordon, he was RB4 overall with a 19.3 PPR points per game. He lacks the elite touchdown upside of a goal line back because Larry Rountree or Joshua Kelly will play that role. But that doesn't matter because he achieved elite upside with Melvin Gordon in the picture because of his pass catching upside and his pass catching touchdown upside. This guy can catch 10 balls through the air that are scores, and that can't be said about anybody else besides maybe Christian McCaffrey and or Alvin Kamara. He had a 94 catch pace last year, and he caught 92 balls in 2019. This guy can catch 100 balls in a season, and nobody would be shocked. Elite upside there. He had 12 plus rushing attempts last year, which was nearly 4 more than his previous career high. So if, once again, he can repeat this, if he can get 12 plus rushing attempts and add it with his 6 catches per week, which is his average, this guy can have 12 rushing attempts per week, along with 6 catches per week, which results in a very, very, very high floor, but also a very, very, very high ceiling because this guy averaged 19.3 points per game with Melvin Gordon on his team. Last year, Derrick Henry, with the 5th most rushing yards in NFL history, averaged just 20.8 PPR points per game. So Austin Ekeler was within 1.5 points per game of Derrick Henry's masterpiece of a season. And if he can just get a couple more rushing attempts here and there, a couple more touchdowns, maybe catch a couple more balls, which is possible because we're looking at Justin Herbert here instead of a guy like Tyrod Taylor or a guy like Phillip Rivers. I mean, this is a good young quarterback with a very consolidated target share. Austin Ekeler could break into the top 3 PPR running backs, and that can't be said about anybody besides maybe 6 or 7 backs. I mean, he has a higher upside than a guy like Nick Chubb, higher upside than a guy like JT, because he's been there. And once again, he has more opportunity on the ground this year to score a couple more points per game on the ground. I can't talk right now, but you get the point. Austin Ekeler has a very, very high floor. His floor is about RB10, RB9 like he was last year just because of his elite pass catching, but his ceiling, with 12 or 13 rushing attempts per game, with 6 catches per game, is a top 3 running back. And that can't be said about many other backs. So go ahead and draft Austin Ekeler with no hesitation at about pick 10, pick 11, pick 12 in that range because he is indeed that guy. An absolute stud in the